Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the Tier 8 German battleship, the Bismarck. I'm using these modules and commander skills. Also, I would like to mention that I kinda like the new battle start sound.
Die Schlacht beginnt.
But I also like the old one. I wish they would have just kept both of them and, just picked one at random at the start of the battle. I think that would have been the best. Anyways, this is a match on the map Trap, and I believe the highest tier ship is it's tier 8. The carriers are tier 6, so they aren't as consequential, especially to me. The Bismarck has decent-ish anti-air, especially compared to tier 6. Anyways, I spawned on the sea side of the map and headed towards the sea cap. I'm following this Fibiki. Tirpitz is behind me and two cruisers. I don't know where that one cruiser is going behind the island. So I'll probably head into the sea cap and see if my teammates follow, or at least close enough. If my teammates don't quite follow, I guess I will turn around and leave. It's 18 minutes into the game, so technically a Fibiki could have torpedoed already, so I start using Hydro. Maybe I could have waited like 5 to 10 more seconds to wait, Torps obviously don't teleport here immediately, but I guess these are small things that I misplay at times. Heading towards the sea cap. Unfortunately, our Fibiki seems to be turning around. Oh, a random citadel. But I guess I'm turning around because the Fibiki didn't go into sea, and I am definitely not going to sacrifice myself for absolutely nothing at all. There's the Mahan, within secondary range, so I open up fire. I'm not really afraid of the DD as much as I'm afraid of the fact that if they have many allies on this side of the map, they might very well come and just kill me off. And there isn't all that much that I can do about it. Also, a very good strategy you can do in this game is basically you send in one battleship that draws all the fire at first, and then swap target, and then swap that one battleship that drew fire falls back while another one takes the place. This means that the enemy team has to swap focus because there will be quite a huge distance difference. So that tends to help, but not always. And I guess this is one benefit which this kind of a swap does. Our Tirpitz seems to be very, very unafraid though, so she keeps going forward. Although, on the other hand, the Tirpitz does have the knowledge that the enemy team does not have overwhelming numbers on the seaside, so we should be able to take them. So I guess it's time to turn around now and head back in. You see, when I was going in, I didn't know where the enemies were, more or less. I didn't know the situation on the map. Whereas the Tirpitz does now, so now it is a good time to go. Okay, so I guess we'll be focusing on that New Mexico because she is giving us a good target, and she is positioned in a way where it's very difficult for her to start running away. And we have pretty overwhelming force on this side. We might also be able to pick off this Mahan, but it depends a lot on our Fibiki, and our Fibiki is very, very, very scared. It kind of makes sense because we only have one DD, so losing that one DD is quite bad, but still I do wish she were a little less scared. It's okay though, we are spotting the Mahan. I'm not even sure what's spotting it. Anyways, I fired my guns. Did you notice how I fired? You probably can't actually normally hit those. Like, there is something called an aim predictor in this game, where the game essentially gives you like somewhat of an aimbot. It makes the things you fire at offset from the selected target. That means it's much easier to actually hit the target you're firing at. It's mostly in the vertical direction, not horizontal. But it does help you a lot. Many people think that this doesn't exist, but I believe that this aim predictor is the reason why shots like that one on the DD are not possible, but are easier. Like, I don't think you could like nonchalantly pick a shot like that and have it hit the target unless you're like really, really lucky, but considering the consistency I get on these kinds of hits, I don't think it's just luck. I believe it is a lot to do with the aim predictor, because I am quite certain I am not good enough to land those kinds of hits with just skill, as they say. Anyways, I would really love to hunt that New Mexico down, but I don't think we can actually do it. We have to focus on the B cap very soon. By the way, if you read the chat, then you saw that I mentioned complimented on the Edinburgh. The reason why is because the Edinburgh tried capping B, and I'm not sure if he was successful or not solo. He was the only one, and that was rather important. So I do believe that somebody doing such actions definitely deserves a compliment. Because, well, it's something we should do, and it's definitely helpful. So I guess I'm not gonna try chasing that New Mexico along with my teammates. I'll try to go towards the B cap, because we kinda need to take it. I really would like to shoot that Prince Eugen, but she just happens to be behind that island exactly in the way where I can't fire at her. Like, I keep waiting and hoping, but apparently not. So maybe I'll just take a gamble on the Taka. I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, whatever, let's try. The worst that happens is I just miss my shells. And I'll start turning towards the B cap, I guess. I turn my guns towards the New Mexico because I might be able to take a shot on her while turning. Not to mention that once I am turning towards the B cap, I do want my guns to be on the left side, or pointing towards the left side. But my team needs to go B. They need to come with me. I can't be the only one that goes there. Basically, a big problem that I find in what people do in World of Warships is that they converge on the outsides of the battle. They go towards the edges of the map, corners, etc., because that obviously means you don't have a whole side where the enemy can shoot you from, or torpedo you from, or similar. Also, nice kill secure. So people like doing that because it keeps them safer, but it's not only limited to going to the map edge, it's even battle edge. Like, they don't want to be in the middle of the battle. It's understandable. This is why cap zones like the B cap on this map are so difficult to take alone. Well, not difficult to take, but they are not difficult to take alone. By the way, what? That's 1 penetration and 2 overpens, and I did 13,000 damage to that Taka. 13,000 damage in 1 penetration and 2 overpens. You saw it was no citadel. I do wonder what happened there, but it is what it is. Anyways, like I said, it's okay to go towards the B cap if you have multiple ships coming with you, because then you have a lot of force, like the enemy team does. They have a Scharnhorst, Amagi, Ratago, and the Taka back there. But if I go in there, I'll be alone. So this is why I started going forward, or started stopping, and I'm gonna start going backwards now. I want to keep the enemies in my secondary range, but I can't go alone there. I need help from my allies, and I just need to wait. Because if I go ahead, I will probably die, and the enemy gets nothing. By the way, this is the famous Amagi armor, 2 overpens, this kind of range, nothing else hit. Nothing else hit. Anyways, target switch to the Scharnhorst. By the way, if you noticed the audio is gone, it's because I all tabbed into the Discord chat to complain about how I didn't do any damage. And apparently I'm still typing. Okay, now I'm back. Time to take a shot on the Taka, I guess. She's gonna turn in, I believe, so that's... But she didn't seem to be going full speed, that's why I aimed very in front of her. Or very close in front of her. Now we need teammates. The next target is the Scharnhorst. I don't want to rush into her. I just want to keep going forwards, backwards slightly, so I'm not quite standing still, but basically I don't want to move closer to them. And I don't really want to back off all that much either. I don't believe the Scharnhorst is a big threat, at least not for me, so... And because I can't citadel her, and because she is angled, she's not the best target, so I tried shooting at the Atagos behind the island instead. But anyways, look at the minimap, please. If you notice the minimap, we have 2 cruisers at G8 and 1 battleship at F7, sorry, and 1 cruiser next to that, and the battleship at E8. Basically, those guys are sitting on the edges. If I go in towards the B cap, I will be going in, well, straight ahead, essentially. And that will put me into the middle of the battle. But what the enemies are doing is they are going around the big island, which puts them on the edge of the battle. This means that they are much, much, much safer than I am. However, if too many of your allies do this, you lose a large portion of, people that soak up damage and do damage, etc. because the island puts them in a position where they are out of combat. They can't fire through the island or over it. And the other thing that this causes is the fact that we have a full HP Tirpitz, almost full HP Bismarck, and 75 to 80% HP Atago that I will be tanking alone pretty much. If I go forward, these guys are going to try their best to pick me off. If I stop, well, obviously they're gonna do the same. So I keep going backwards. At one point I'm gonna start going forwards. I want to keep this island between me and the enemy Bismarck, or if I could, even the Tirpitz. I believe their target will be the sea cap. And as you can see, everyone except the Fibiki is going around the island. They could be capping it already, but they aren't. Sure, one reason is because the Fibiki is a bit cowardly. Maybe that is the way she should be playing, I don't know. But it does mean she isn't capping. But neither are the other guys. Like, 1 battleship is going around, 3 cruisers are going around. And, well, 1 battleship did come around, which is good, I guess. I believe that's the Tirpitz, actually. So, that guy is a bit courageous, so I guess that is okay. The cruiser behind me, I believe that she could already be in the B cap. And if she has some concealment upgrades, she probably would be completely safe as well. So I'm keeping the island between me and Bismarck, and obviously the Tirpitz as well, which is very good, and I can keep firing at the cruiser. I do want to get forward very soon, because there is an island to my left side, and I can't turn away because of it. But I will be in a moment once I come around from behind this island, and that will mean that I can angle against these 2 battleships. That will be very useful. So my strategy here, or tactic, I don't know which is which, is to go a bit closer and then start running away from them. But I want to run away from them in a way where my secondaries are opening up on them all the time. I want my secondaries to bathe them in fire. Unfortunately, I'm gonna take some probably major damage from the Tirpitz. Oh, I got slightly lucky. I only took 4,000 damage. Well, the Tirpitz took 14,000 damage from me. That's very, very good. The angle on my secondaries to the Bismarck is bad, so that's why I switched to the Tirpitz. I believe more secondaries will be able to fire at the Tirpitz than the Bismarck. If I were to switch to the Bismarck targeting, then I would need to either turn my ship the other way or show more broadside, which I'm gonna do to fire my front guns at the Tirpitz, but I'll turn back again because I don't want to run aground onto the island that's in the middle of B. It does mean that I make myself slightly more vulnerable, as you saw, and I took quite a bit of damage. Switching targets to the Tirpitz again because of the angles. I'm gonna turn my ship now, I believe. I'm not quite certain. Okay, so the Tirpitz, the friendly Tirpitz, is turning around and seems to be going YOLO soon against them. I don't think that's a good idea, but I guess it's good for me, because I'm fairly low HP and this is my last heal, so I can't be doing this tanking stuff for a very long time. I'll still try to keep both of the enemies inside my secondary range. And this, actually the Tirpitz going in at this time is very, very useful, because I don't have much HP, but because the Tirpitz is swapping tanking targets with me, like the Tirpitz is gonna be on the one that's gonna be focus fired because it's a rushing Tirpitz, so much scarier than a Bismarck. they probably aren't going to shoot too much at me, so I can do more damage with my secondaries and guns than I probably would, because I think I would probably be picked off unless I ran away in like a straight line. The unfortunate thing is that the guys that went around, they obviously aren't gonna defend B anymore, so they aren't gonna defend C either, and I don't know how they're gonna do at the A cap. I don't think that was the best course of action. Okay, so the Bismarck was taken out by the Fibicky's torpedoes. Good job. I believe it was the Fibicky. Unfortunately, our Tirpitz got taken out by the DD. We saw the DD that was in the C cap because of the smoke that appeared earlier. I'm gonna use my Hydro the moment it is off cooldown. I might have to start switching to the HE shells though, because I believe this Tirpitz is gonna come straight at me. More or less anyway. Okay, time to start heading up again. Basically, I play with my W and S keys a lot to try to confuse the enemy battleship slightly. Like, if you... This kind of thing might very well catch somebody off guard slightly, and that could mean, like, taking 1000 damage instead of 4000 damage. Everything you can do to be useful. Because the Tirpitz is coming straight at me, I know that AP is gonna do very little damage. By the way, Hydra is active. Those HE shells were pretty good. And I can see torpedoes, so I'm gonna speed up. Unfortunately, the bad thing here is that I didn't really account for those torpedoes properly. Yes, I saw them from far away, but I don't think I can actually run away from them. Maybe if I had slowed down and turned into them, I wouldn't have taken, or I wouldn't be at risk of taking a torpedo. But that would have made me very vulnerable to the Tirpitz. So unfortunately, I was a moment too late and I took a torpedo. This was really bad. I immediately pressed the R key to try to minimize the flooding damage. I don't think I actually got a flooding. I only might have got a steering gear broken, so regardless, I probably would have used Damacon anyway. Tirpitz is coming straight at me, so I guess I need to switch to the HE shells again, so I'm gonna do that. And now I'm just gonna run away from them, because if a battleship is running away from a DD or some other ship with torpedoes, it's very difficult to torpedo them, because the torpedoes generally don't have enough range, unless you're like gearing or something, to actually catch up to them. On top of that, the battleship has a lot of time to react, because they see the torpedoes, but they're also going in the same direction, so their reaction time is very high. But I need to make sure I don't really do something very crazy. Unfortunately, we need to kill this Tirpitz very quickly. We are 750 points to 920, and a DD has found our carrier, and it's a tier 6 carrier, so it will die very quickly to a DD's guns. Because it's a USDD, I believe, even. So... Sorry, it's not a USDD, but regardless, it should die to the guns very quickly. And considering how close she is, maybe even torps. Okay, Tirpitz, come on, die very quickly. I'm gonna start turning in. Now, it is a risk, because it does open me up to the Tirpitz. But our carrier, is dying very soon, and we need the points. We need to be quick about it. Because they do have a C cap. So if they kill a ship and we don't get one in return, it might very well end. 987. But unfortunately, the Tirpitz fired at me, so I'm gonna die and the game ends. But the enemy team was at 990 points, so unless we killed the Tirpitz, I don't think I would have even got an extra shot off. So even if I hadn't turned like that, I think we still would have lost immediately. Or maybe it would have lasted a little bit longer, but I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. But I do believe it was a bit of a mistake. Anyways, it was still a pretty good game. I can't really believe we lost this. 216,000 damage we still lost. 1735 base experience on a loss. This means that if we had won this game, I would have gained almost 2600 base XP. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, which is sad. I got almost as much base XP as the enemy Fubiki. Almost. Actually, no, it's quite a difference. Secondaries, 352 secondary hits. This is 65,000 damage. And I had a potential damage taken of 2.26 million. I did take 120,000 damage. I really wish I had been able to avoid that torpedo fired by the Fibiki. That would have been very, very good. I believe we would have had a better chance, because I could have been bolder against the Tirpitz, so we might have been able to kill the Tirpitz before all this, things got so out of hand. But it didn't happen. Oh well, whatever. It's not like I kinda messed up with those torpedoes. I didn't have like much of a delay in reaction or anything like that. While I was playing this match, I wasn't sure. I thought that I might have had a delay, but after watching this again, I know it wasn't. 280,000 profit and 352 secondary hits. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for being absent again. I'll really try fixing it, but I don't know. I am just this way. I can't really help it for some reason. You probably would have noticed this because this has been happening for almost a year. Well, more than a year at this point. Anyways, I would like to thank the Patreons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Paladov, and I hope I see you guys next time.